Oh, there we go. Tesco's shopping done. Oh, job's done today. Well, out. I still really do want to get that attic room done. Millie's waiting for her little treat, aren't you, from the shop? Mum's got sleepies in her eyes. Mum's always sleepy. I've got Millie some ham, and that's what she's waiting for. So I thought I'd just tell you, I get a lot of people that message me and ask me about reactions, because, you know, I do take my Reborns out. And, go. So I was just out then, walking Millie and out in the field like you saw me, and it's a popular route because it connects one end of this town to the Tesco's and to the walks in that go further out over past the railway, and that there's a lot of walks around here. Not suitable really for the pushchair. Unfortunately, it's over fields and things. But there were a couple of ladies who stopped to let me get through the gate with the pram and Millie. And they were like, "Oh, your dog is so cute." And they were asking me about Millie and how good she was off the lead, and then one of the ladies said, "Oh, and you've got a baby." And that's the moment when you think, right, how am I going to play this? If you've watched a lot of there is a playlist, a Reborn outing playlist. And if you've watched some of those, you'll know that I get quite snooty with people that just snigger. Like they're like with people and they're like, "She's got a dog. Oh my God, what? That's weird." You know, and I'd much rather people outright ask you and then you can talk about it. One day I had Timothy out of me, and I was at, there's a really nice place near me where you can walk the dogs and that. It used to be, for those of you who are my age, it used to be Noel Edmonds' Blobby, Mr. Blobby Park, amusement park, like kind of small park place. It was like a little zoo and things like that, a little train and all of that. Well, now it's lovely, lovely gardens, and you can go and walk around that. And I think when I first got Timothy, I think it was near the first time I got Timothy, I took him. And it's also, so the big house, there used to be a big house there because it was the big house and it was all of their land. And the big house is now a hotel. And so I got there, got the pushchair out, got everything out, got Timothy out, and I was walking along and I could see this woman like watching me, and I was like, she's going to come over in a minute. She's going to come over. And I just kept on doing what I was doing. And she was just stood watching what I was doing. And at one of the parts, I get Timothy out to take some photos. And it's a lovely place. And she ran from that hotel across the lawn of the hotel and said, "What are you doing? Why have you got a doll?" Like really blunt, like outright. And that just raged me because I could see her. And I was just like, "Why are you asking me like that?" I said, "It'd be nicer for you to, you know, if you asked me nicely what I was doing, wouldn't it?" I was like, "It's none of your bloody business." And she was like, "Well, how should I have asked you then?" I was like, "I watched you." I said to her, I watched you run over, like all the way from that hotel over there, down over the garden, which they're really nice gardens, I'm surprised she didn't fall on her ass, down over the garden to find out why I'm pushing around a doll. I said, "You did all of that when you could have just like, go, oh yeah, that woman's taking photos with a doll. Well, that's weird, isn't it?" And just like not worried, but you ran over. I said, "No, I've watched you ever since I got out of my van. I watched you do that." And anyway, I'm sure that's on Timothy's playlist somewhere, or in the Reborn outing playlist somewhere if you want to hear about that. And then there are other times, so it's things like that bug me. And then another time when I'm out with my friends, that really irritates me. Like when I'm out with Sheena or Sammy or anybody and people snigger. I mean, that really bugs me because that just to me is really ignorant. And if you want to know something, you just ask the person. I understand that Reborns are not to everyone's cup of tea. I understand that not everybody has an empathetic bone in their body and can appreciate where you're coming from. Many a time I've been out with Sheena and people have said something and I've like had a right go at them. There was a young girl, and she must have been with her mum and dad. She had a child with her, so I'm assuming it was mother, daughter, grandparents going to see Santa. I'm sure it's when me and Sheena went to see Santa. I took the littles. And this woman came over. No. And we went to have a drink and everything in the cafe. And the woman was watching us. The girl was watching us. And then she said something to the other two. And then the mum and the older couple that were with them, which I assume would be her parents, grandparents, something. And they were looking at us, so it was all three of them. Then she gets up from her chair. She goes out to the outdoor play area. Because I watch this, because of my PTSD, I watch people. Okay, so my brain is always alert for danger. And sometimes it gets it wrong and it's not danger, but it perceives it as that. So I have to be really careful. But anyway, so I was watching her. She went outside. She spoke to a woman out there who also had children. And they both were looking at, you just know. I mean, come on, you just know. So they were like, so the woman that was outside with a child came in. They were all around this little table then. And this cafe is really small, really tight fit. And they were all like huddled talking. And I just went over to him and I just said, there's no need for you to go out there telling people that we've got dolls. I said, there's no need for you. Why don't you just come up and ask us why we've got them? You are so fortunate to have children to take to see Father Christmas. Do you know how many women would give their right leg to have a child? And then I give them what Russ is called, and all my children call it the mum look. Russ calls it the Berkeley look, because that was my is it maiden name? My maiden name. And then I give them the look. And the mum, the elder lady, was like, oh, it's okay. They weren't talking. I was like, yeah, they were. I was like, don't try and stick up for her. I said, if they want to know, come over. If you want to know, come over and ask. And then you'll get then we can have a chat about it. So me and Sheena carry on. I don't know if it was the time we went to see Santa. I'm just surmising. It could have been the time we just went to the it's like a little petting. It's called Church Farm near Sheena. You don't want any more? You had enough now? You had enough? I was putting it there and you're not wanting any more. You had enough? And then, so I'm not sure if it was that time, but it was at that place. And then we took the littles in the play area. They have an indoor play area. So we took the littles in there. Sheena was sat there and I took Christopher and Annie on the play area. And there was another woman in there on the play area. And she looked and I said, don't worry, they're just dolls. I said, I'm just taking photos and videos and stuff. She said, I heard what you said. She said in there. She said in the cafe, some people are just so rude. She said, do what you want. You're not hurting anybody. Me and Sheena had a really, really good time. I had a really great time in that play area with Christopher and Annie. Oh, I need a drink. My mouth's raging. And anyway, and then you get stuff like today. So talking to these ladies, and they were appreciating Millie and loving on Millie. And the one woman went, oh, and you've got a little baby. Oh, and I had the hood over. And she was like, can I see? And I said, well, you can see. I said, but it's not going to be what you think it is. And I lifted it up. She went, oh my gosh. I said, yeah, it's a therapy doll. And she was like, Dad, she's so cute. Oh my God. And the woman then started going, hello, little one. Hello. Oh, you're so smiley. Aren't you lovely? Then the woman started telling me how she was finding lockdown really hard, how she was missing her whole family. She was on her own with her husband, but these were probably in their late 60s ladies. And she said, so, and she was telling me she just had a hip operation. She was out with her friend, was out having some exercise with her friend. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to meet one other person outside and have exercise. And she was going, I've never heard of that, and yada, yada, yada. And then we just started talking about the therapy aspect of the dolls. And they loved Heidi. They absolutely loved her. And I was talking there for a good while. Now, I don't film reactions. I know there are other Reborn channels that film reactions. I don't film reactions because I don't think that's fair on the other people. Like, I would never, I don't know, I might have filmed occasionally, but I don't think I would ever put a camera on somebody, like close up, without their knowledge, if that makes sense. So you're not getting a true reaction. So you'd have to like arrange to meet with somebody and say, can I film your reaction? Want to show? So they're already anticipating something, whereas this is completely off the cuff, true reaction. And I was like, just blown away by their reaction. They absolutely, and then when I, like the lady with the stick, I said, and the good thing about having the pushchair, I said, is I don't need to use my stick. I said, I have a stick, I keep it on the van. I said, because my husband doesn't like me pushing a pushchair around. I said, oh, I don't have a fork. It didn't come with a fork. I got mango, and it didn't come with a fork, so I'm going to have to use my fingers. Ooh, I've got a fork in the back of the van, but I can't be bothered to move. And now I'm going to talk with mouthful. Oh, bum. Sorry, guys, it was sitting there calling me. It's juicy. I'll hurry up. Oh my God, I don't think I'm going to be able to upload that because I just videoed that for 11 minutes without taking a break. Without getting a break at least the 6-minute mark. Oh no, I hope I can upload it. It's so fickle, this thing. But anyway, yeah, so that's why I don't film reactions, but I will tell you about reactions. And the places that I put them, usually when we're on outings, because that's the place you get reactions, isn't it? So I do have a playlist called Reborn Outings that you can look at, and you'll find some reactions in there. Mostly when I'm with other people, other meetups with other people, I tell you about the reactions. But that was so lovely. Yeah. And so then I said, and a good thing about Pusher is I don't need to use my stick. And she was like, that is such a good idea. She said, maybe I ought to get one. I was like, get one. She's like, maybe I ought to get one of these dolls. Where'd you get them from? How much are they? And it was just, it just affirmed to me how much of a therapy these Reborn dolls are. And how many people don't know about them is sad. And how many people need them is just amazing and would benefit from them. If you want to have your Reborn, you are doing nothing wrong. If you want to take your Reborn out, you are doing nothing wrong. I have people send me messages saying they're too scared to take theirs out. Or their other half doesn't understand and won't go out with them. Well, nor will mine. Okay? You've seen Russ. You've seen me and Russ take them on holiday and things like that, because he's finally, I mean, it took him a long time. It took about 2 years before he really understood that they are therapy dolls and I'm not doing it. So people look at me and go, oh, look, she's wearing a doll, like for attention. I mean, I don't even understand that. Russ really believed that for a long time, that I was taking a doll out for attention. Come on, that's the last thing we all want, isn't it? We all know that it looks really weird seeing somebody pushing a doll in a pram. We know, an adult. We know that ourselves. There's something a bit weird in that aspect. And there is, and I'm not going to deny that. Before I knew about the dolls, I probably would have thought the same. Oh, she's got a doll in her pram. That's weird. Because I was ignorant and didn't understand why. So I'm glad I know more now, and I'm so thankful to my therapist. So you've got to do what's right for you. I take mine out in the day when Russ is not around. When we go on holiday, because I'll be away from him for longer and it's all different for me, I take them with him. And I'd love, when I do that, to take them in places like museums and things like that. Russ, he wouldn't cope with that. I think we went to a museum once And I took my 1940s Clementine doll, a girl for all time doll, so I could get some photos. She's 18 inches, I think, or 16 inches. I can't wait to get them out again. Well, they've all been packed for ages. Anyway, I took her because it was perfect for her. She's a 1940s doll. She's got the tea dress, the 1940s tea dress style. She's also got the Land Army girls. She comes with a little book that tells you all about her story. So it's perfect to go to Bletchley Park. That's where we went. And I told him I was taking her, and he was like, well, you can take photos when I'm not there then. And I'm like, okay. So I put her in my bag, carried her around, and then he went off, and I stayed and then took photos with her. To me, that is pathetic. To me, that is really pathetic. But I also have to appreciate his view. I have to, just because he doesn't like them doesn't mean that I can get shitty with him. That's his opinion. And just because I like them doesn't mean he can get shitty with me. Does that make sense? So I fully believe you should do what makes your heart happy. You should do what makes your heart happy. And being with them, talking with them, playing with them, taking them out, doing things makes my heart happy. And I just can't wait for lockdown to end so we can go back to the zoo. We can go to the beach. Oh, and the sunshine anyways. We can go for picnics, but that's fine. But I love being with them and taking them out and doing things with them. So I'm going to keep doing it. And now I might have to upload this as a separate video now because it's going to be too long for my week in the life that I started. Ooh, I'm so crazy.